Looking through the research for this deep dive, it really hit me just how fragile our digital reality actually is. I mean, we live our lives entirely in the cloud now. Bank transfers, arguments on WhatsApp, contracts sent via email. But the moment any of that lands in a courtroom, it becomes incredibly slippery.
It really does. Because, well, a judge can't exactly hold a cloud server in their hand, right?
Huh?
So we are looking at a stack of sources today on forensic informatics.
Yeah.
And it is essentially the bridge that connects the invisible world of bits and metadata to the very physical world of legal evidence.
Yeah, and it is crucial to distinguish this right away from just, basic IT support. We aren't talking about fixing a slow laptop here.
Right, exactly.
The sources describe this as the cornerstone of modern justice. It's the scientific process of preserving and analyzing data so it actually holds up when the stakes are high.
That distinction is everything, honestly, because if your IT guy fixes your computer, he's just trying to get it running. A forensic expert operates under a totally different mandate. It's all about the chain of custody.
Yeah. Right, which is a concept we usually associate with, like, murder weapons in crime shows, bagging and tagging the physical evidence.
It is exactly the same principle. But in the digital realm, bagging and tagging means proving that the data hasn't been altered by a single byte, from the moment of discovery right up until it hits the judge's desk.
And that brings us to the four pillars mentioned in the texts. These are the technical criteria that actually grant that certainty. First, you have authenticity, which asks, is this file actually what it claims to be? And then there's integrity.
Yeah, integrity is fascinating. This is where they use hash algorithms. Think of a hash like a digital wax seal on a letter. If you change even a comma in a document, that digital seal just breaks. The algorithm produces a completely different code, which proves the file was tampered with.
That is a really great way to visualize it. Then you have non-repudiation, which is proving exactly who sent the message so they can't deny it. And finally, recovery, which is finding the stuff people thought they permanently deleted.
Yeah, the empty trash button is rarely the actual end of the story. If there is malicious intent, a forensic expert can very often dig that data back up.
Now, the material we are looking at specifically focuses on the legal framework in Mexico, and it highlights that the law has actually caught up to this technology. We aren't operating in a Wild West here.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It is quite codified. You have this concept of freedom of proof. The Federal Code of Civil Procedures, specifically Article 210A, along with the Commerce Code, officially recognize electronic means as evidence.
Meaning a judge is legally bound to treat a digital record just as seriously as a paper contract, provided it meets those technical standards we just discussed.
Correct. And the applications are shockingly domestic. It is not just about high-level corporate espionage.
Yeah, I was really struck by the examples in family law. You have divorce cases where one partner claims to be broke to avoid alimony, but their social media metadata paints a picture of a lavish lifestyle. It's exactly. Or in labor law, we see cases of mobbing, workplace harassment being proven entirely through messaging apps. Or conversely, companies using server logs to justify firing someone for misusing equipment.
It really reinforces that your digital footprint is basically permanent. But this leads us to the most practical takeaway from the research, the screenshot trap. Because I think most people assume if they receive a nasty text or see a weird bank transaction, they can just take a screenshot and they are totally covered.
And that is a very dangerous assumption. In the field, this is called the Prueba de Pantalla challenge. Legally speaking, a screenshot is just a private document. It has very little weight because it is incredibly easy to fake.
Right, because of tools like Inspect Element in web browsers, you can just right-click on a web page, rewrite the text to say your bank account has $10 million, and take a screenshot. You haven't hacked the bank, you just changed how your screen displays it. Precisely. To a judge, a screenshot is just a picture of a claim. It does not prove the underlying reality. Without a forensic expert extracting the metadata, the code, underneath the image that certifies the origin and the date in the device, a lawyer can simply argue that it's Photoshop and get the evidence thrown out.
So the expert essentially transforms it from this implies something happened to this scientifically proves it happened.
That is the core value proposition. In a world where everything can be edited, forensic informatics provides the only thing that actually matters in court, which is certainty.
It is a pretty sobering realization. We treat our screens as these windows to the truth, but without that forensic layer, they are really just canvases.
And it raises a crucial question to leave you with. In an era of deepfakes, AI generation, and seamless editing tools, is anything you see on a screen actually real until someone has looked at the code behind it?
Something to definitely think about the next time you're scrolling. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.